Let's get at number 10 right now. We'll get into the shredder at number 10. Announced exclusively on MLB Network's Twitter, it is Gleyber Torres from the New York Yankees. Torres has had his ups and downs, but last year he bounced back to better than league average hitting and plus fielding. He's moved back to his more natural position, and he is still just entering his age 26 season. The question is, can Torres reach his earlier levels of production? Age 21 and 22, he played like a star, looked like a future superstar. His average slugging percentage those years was .511. He hasn't slugged .500 since. At number 9, it's Kolten Wong, now with the Seattle Mariners. Wong had one of the better offensive seasons of his career last year, posting a career-high weighted runs created plus of 117, 100th league average. After years of defensive excellence, though, his defensive metrics slipped to below league average. He starts his run in Seattle as he enters his age 32 season. Now, Wong has been an underrated player through the years. Among the current group of second basemen, only Marcus Semien, Jose Altuve, and Jeff McNeil have earned more wins above replacement. Before the break, we gave you some clues about the player who comes in at number 8. This is a former number 1 on the Shredders list, played 137 games, and third at this position in OPS plus since 2019. That player is Ketel Marte of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Marte has had big swings in performance, but at his best, he is a top-flight talent. He's played center field and second base and had a 7-win season in 2019. But he hasn't had a WAR above 2 in any of the next 3 seasons. Marte will be in his age 29 season this year, still in his prime. And a lot like Gleyber Torres, you wonder what kind of player he will be. That 2019 season is nearly MVP level, so this is a player with a very high ceiling. Can he get to that level again? At 7, it's Brendan Donovan of the St. Louis Cardinals. Donovan was a very versatile player last year. He played 6 positions, finishing plus 10 overall in defensive runs saved. He was an on-base machine in the minors, and he carried that right to the National League last year, finishing with an impressive .394 on-base percentage. Donovan is going into his age 26 season and has shown superior process skills at the plate. He's in the 90th percentile or better in walk rate, whiff rate, and chase rate. Only 7 other players ranked in the 90th percentile in both whiff percentage and chase percentage. We move to number 6, and at 6, Jorge Polanco of the Minnesota Twins. Polanco had a career year in 2021, hitting 33 home runs and slugging over .500. He was unable to reach that level last year, slugged just .405, and played just 104 games because of various injuries. Now, one way to rank players with a good sample size is to combine the last 2 years. If you do that, Polanco is clearly among the best at this position. He is tied for 4th in hitting, or OPS plus, 1st in xWOBA, or quality of contact, and 4th in WAR, which includes all facets of production. We move to the top 5, and at number 5, it's Brandon Lowe of the Tampa Bay Rays. Lowe had an injury-filled season in 2022, played just 65 games, and was hitting just about league average. In 2021, he hit 39 home runs, slugged .523, and his offensive game comes with elite base running. Over the last 3 years, Lowe is one of the top 20 hitters in the game, at least if you go by OPS plus. He is just below some of the big-time players. Look at that right there with George Springer, Ronald Acuna Jr., and Jose Abreu. We move up to number 4, and at 4, it's Marcus Semien of the Texas Rangers. Semien got off to a miserable start in his Rangers debut, but he bounced back with good power down the stretch, and with his defense and durability, he played 161 games. He finished with a more than respectable WAR of 5.9. He still has shown wide fluctuations in his performance. Semien had great years in 2019 and 2021, so if you put together the last 4 years, he is one of the more valuable players in baseball. In those 4 years, only Aaron Judge has a higher WAR. He is above, think about this, Mookie Betts, Nolan Arenado, and Juan Soto. At number 3, it's Andres Gimenez of the Cleveland Guardians. Gimenez was known as a nice defensive player in his time with the Mets. That all changed last year as his offense broke out and made him one of the best players in baseball. He had a high on base, slugged .466, and did it all with elite defense and superior base running. He's only going into his age 24 season and is now one of the brightest young stars in the game. You know, it's the hitting that has changed drastically last year. The previous 2 seasons, Gimenez had an OPS plus of 84. Last year, it was 141. His WAR, 7.4. That's a 7-win season. Was the 4th best among position players last year. Time for the number 2 second baseman, according to the Shredder.
McNeil cracks one deep right field. Jeff's thinking, anything you guys can do, I can do as well, or better.
Highest batting average in the major leagues this year. He is. He's the gold standard.
Number 2 is Jeff McNeil of the New York Mets. McNeil had a good bounce-back season last year, coming off a rare slide below league average. Last year, he had a .326 batting average, .382 on base, while playing plus defense. That puts him back in the number 2 spot he occupied 2 years ago. McNeil had a much better batted ball profile last year. He had large increases in several StatCast metrics, including line drive percentage. He's also a smart hitter, beating the shift often last year, something he won't have to be as concerned about this coming season. Now we are ready for the player who is number 1, according to the Shredder.
Jose Altuve, you're still doing it, brother. You've been doing it for a long time.
He's a baseball star.
Altuve throw to first. It's in time. What a play.
Jose Altuve. And this game starts with a bang.
He has tied the team record with his 12th leadoff home run.
A stud in the postseason, as always.
For the first time in 4 years and the 5th time overall, Jose Altuve is number 1 at second base. Altuve had a spectacular slash line, a .300 batting average with a high on base, slugging .533. His defensive metrics were conflicting, but outs above average had him just above league average. Altuve is going into his age 33 season, but he has bounced back nicely since that sign stealing scandal. Here are his ranks among the current crowd.